This video will give you an idea of the types of questions that are available in Google Forms. The first one is a multiple choice question, and you can see that you will add a new question just by clicking this plus button, fill out your question here and your answers here. And if you have a multiple choice question where it's possible that you haven't thought of one of the answers that people might add, you might want to click Add Other, and that'll give them an opportunity to add another choice that you haven't thought of. When you choose multiple choice, they can only select one answer in this particular one. The next one is a short answer question. So you can see that it's titled here. You would want to use this when there's just the respondent would just give a couple of words as the answer. You wouldn't want to use this for something longer. And I wanted to show you that if you click on the three little buttons here for more and choose description, it'll give you another place to write in smaller text. So maybe something like that. So if you have additional information that's part of the question, that's a good place to put it in the description spot. The next one, when you click on it, you can see is the paragraph choice, and this would be one that you would want to use for longer text, a couple anything even like a sentence or longer, you would want to use this so it gives them enough space to type. And remember that you can turn a question on to be required or not. So you might want to think about that as you are selecting question types. The next one are checkboxes. And in this one you would have, you typically have, several multiple choices, but a respondent can choose more than one. And you also do have the opportunity to click Other here. So if you want your person to be able to say more than one, definitely use the checkbox choice. Here is what's called the drop-down menu, and on this one all of the choices won't show at once. You'll have to click to see them, and I typically use this for when I'm surveying teachers. I write the grade level, and this would be preferable over asking them to fill in the grade level with just a short answer type of question. That way all of the second grade teachers are written in this type and it's easy to sort them. If you allow them to type what's your grade level, then one person might spell it out, one person just might write 2, and if you're trying to do any kind of analysis of the data, you have to go back later and edit those. So this works well for that, and I typically, especially in school, will add another other choice in case, a guidance counselor or somebody didn't think about was going to fill out this survey. This one is called a linear scale, and it doesn't allow you to name every single choice. It just allows you to name the the minimum and the maximum choice, but you can change what your the numbers are of your scale. And I'll show you in a second what that looks like when you actually look at the actual survey, the final survey. This one is a multiple choice grid, and this seems to be the best way to do a ranking type of question. So you would typically, if you were going to ask a ranking question, you would put your first, second, third, or you could keep going down to fifth or whatever on the rows, and then put your choices in columns. And then in order to make sure that you can't answer two different things are your first choice, you would want to do two things. You would want to require a response in each row, so that will require them to have something in the first row, the second row, the third row. And then if you click more, you can also limit to one response per column, so that way they couldn't say chocolate was their first, second, and third choice. So this multiple choice grid is the best way to do a ranking system. If you want to have a grid but allow more than one answer in a row or a column, then a checkbox grid is definitely your best choice. So this works well if you're trying to think of a common time to meet. Someone can check all the different times that work for them. And remember to add a new kind of question. You just hit the plus button and it'll show up after wherever you are. You can also use the duplicate button if you like this question type and you just need to change something small. There's one more type that I haven't showed you, and that is the file upload. Google Forms does have the opportunity that you can have the respondent upload something like a PDF or a Word document, and you have a couple of options here. So we've made our survey. Let's go up to the top and preview it, and you can do that by clicking on the eyeball right here, and we can see each of our types. So in another video, you'll be able to look at permissions, and we'll talk about that. But in this one, let's just take a look at what we've got. So we've got a multiple choice question where we can answer other We have a short answer question, and we have some information here in the description. This is the paragraph and long answer question. A checkbox option here where you can pick more than one. This is what the drop-down menu looks like. You can see I've added the other column. Here is the linear scale. And then we have the multiple choice grid, where if you try to pick one, because of the settings I chose, I can't choose more than one in a particular column or row. So, and then here, this is the checkbox grid, where I can choose more than one at a time. Here's where I would upload a file.